Happy Easter and welcome back to Reading with Leon. We are reading Nick Zone Cool Rules. It's by Bobby Weiss and Susan Wen, illustrated by Mark Martirosian, and the cover is illustrated by Barry Goldberg. This one's going to be a little bit longer. Chapter 1. Who's cool? Yes, got it, Jimmy Neutron explained as he watched a fly buzzing down the school hallway. Then he began to furiously scribble notes and diagrams on a pad. "What are you doing, Jimmy?" Carl Wheezer asked his friend. "I'm computing the velocity of a fly circling the school and multiplying it by the square root of the speed of light in order to calibrate this new jetpack." Oh, we're not going to play with the applesauce like that. Uh-oh, yeah. Excuse me, Mommy. Okay. We're going to calibrate a new jetpack. I want to get to the lunchroom before all the purple flurp is gone, Jimmy explained. "Wow, Jimmy," Carl said admiringly. "Have you ever computed the velocity of a llama?" Just then, Cindy Vortex and Libby walked up. "Hey, Nerdtron, could you move out of the way?" Cindy snapped. "Your hair is blocking my view." "That's not very nice." Carl jumped to his friend's defense. "Jimmy's very busy calculating the speed of purple flurp," he began. "Who cares about some geeky experiment?" Libby interrupted. "We're trying to see Nick's new jacket." Carl and Jimmy watched as the kids crowded around Nick, the coolest kid in the school. This jacket is pretty cool, but I'm a science nerd, so I'm into the science thing. "Big deal, I don't get it," Jimmy muttered. "What's so great about a jacket?" "It's not just any jacket," Carl explained. "It's Nick's jacket. And everything Nick has is cool because Nick is cool. No one is cooler than Nick." Their friend Sheen joined them. "Ultra Lord is cooler than Nick," he said. "But if you don't count Ultra Lord, then yeah, Nick is the coolest." Meow. "I could be cooler than Nick if I wanted to be," Jimmy said. Carl and Sheen didn't answer. That was because they were laughing way too hard to speak. "No offense, Jimmy, but I don't think so," Carl said when he caught his breath. "I can be cool," Jimmy told them. "You'll see." Being smart is better than cool, in my opinion. Chapter 2, The Cool Factor. After school, Jimmy went straight to his lab. "I just know I could be as cool as Nick," he said to his robot dog, Goddard. "What do you think makes a person cool?" Goddard beeped and his eyes flashed. Words appeared on his digital readout. "People admire them." "True," said Jimmy, "but there must be more to it. Let's see." Jimmy went to the computer and downloaded data about people who are cool. He compiled lists of sports stars, recording artists, and TV and movie celebrities. "Now, how can I be as cool as they are?" he wondered. "Goddard, perform analysis of the cool factor." Gears whirred and lights flashed. Finally, an answer appeared on Goddard's display. "That's it," Jimmy explained. "Next stop, Coolsville. Population, me." Wonder what the word was. Chapter 3, Growth Spurt. The next morning, Jimmy's friends were waiting for him outside of their classroom. "Say," said Sheen, "did you, have a growth spurt or something?" "You definitely look bigger," Carl added. "What's making him bigger? Do you see it? Can you tell me?" "What's making him bigger, Leon?"
Um,
What are those?
I know.
Yeah? I'm gonna read that book? Okay. Jimmy grinned at his friends. Gentlemen, you haven't seen anything yet. He tapped the hydraulic controls on either side of his new extensor legs, and with a mechanical shoof, he grew to 7 feet tall. That's like 2 feet taller than me. You're looking at Jimmy Neutron, the soon-to-be coolest kid on the basketball court. Jimmy headed into the gym, but he was so tall that his forehead bumped the top of the doorway. As he staggered backwards, his extendo legs buckled under him, and at the same time a flash as the mechanism short-circuited and shot him up into the air like a rocket. "Hey, that is pretty cool," Sheen exclaimed as Jimmy sailed past him. Hope he's okay. Chapter 4, Dancetronic Belt. That sounds interesting. Who likes to dance? Who doesn't like to dance? The next day, Jimmy was ready with a new tactic. Looking cool and having cool moves is what really matters, he told Goddard. "Watch this." He pushed a button, and his auto valet whirled around him. See, I think he's pretty cool already with all those cool gadgets and how smart he is. Jimmy emerged with a cool new look. "The kids will think I've really got it going on now," he said as he headed out of the lab. Suddenly he stopped. His baggy pants were slipping. "I almost forgot the Dancetronic belt I invented," he said, running back to get it. "Not only will it hold up my extra baggy pants, but it also gives me the moves I need to be cool." I don't think baggy pants are cool. When Jimmy got to school, he set his belt on straight. "Hey, look at Neutron," Cindy said to Libby. "Something about the way he's walking seems almost cool." Jimmy heard her and smiled. "Just wait till you see me bust a move," he said. Jimmy hit a button on the Dancetronic belt. Dance music blared from the special embedded microcircuits. With a push of another button, Jimmy began to perform all the latest dance moves. A crowd of kids gathered to watch him. The lights on Jimmy's belt glowed brighter and brighter and faster. Jimmy danced. They flashed and changed color. Jimmy flipped in the air and he spun on the floor. He twirled and he kicked. But just as he was getting ready to execute his most impressive move, the Dancetronic belt burst apart, flying through the air. Think he'll be okay? Without the belt, Jimmy's big baggy pants fell down. I'm still working out a few bugs," he muttered as he stumbled away, clutching his pants. Jimmy went home that afternoon and thought hard. And this is chapter 5, the Admirator Ray. So Jimmy went home that afternoon and thought hard. He remembered what Goddard had told him. Cool people were admired. "Brain blast! Why didn't I think of that before?" Jimmy cried. What do you think his idea is now? After dinner that night, Jimmy put the finishing touches on his new invention. "Behold, the Admirator Ray," he said to Goddard. "One zap will polarize my body chemistry, increasing my personal magnetism 100 times over. It's going to be a neutron admirathon." Comes up with pretty cool names for stuff. I think he's pretty cool already. At breakfast the next morning, Jimmy's mother had a strange look in her eyes. "Do you really have to go to school?" she asked pleadingly. "You're so wonderful that I can't stand for you to leave." His dad smiled fondly at Jimmy. Jimmy is beyond wonderful. He's wonderific. But am I cool, Jimmy asked. The coolest, his parents shouted together. I think it might be working a little too well, but we'll see. Chapter 6. Jimmy Cooltrot. When Jimmy got to school, everyone who saw him was awed. Neutron, you're the coolest, Cindy gushed. Would you sign my autograph book? Mine too, added Libby. The ray was definitely working. Even Carl and Sheen were dazzled. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but he's as cool as Ultra Lord, said Sheen. Jimmy just smiled. Being cool is child's play for your average genius, he thought to himself. In class, Miss Fowl asked Jimmy to stand at the front of the room. Do you want me to solve a math problem or something? Jimmy asked. No, Miss Fowl answered. Just stand there so we can admire you. The whole class gazed at Jimmy. Neutron, said Nick in a voice filled with admiration. You are so... He searched for the word. Cool, he finally blurted. How are you going to get any learning done if you're just standing admiring someone? A crowd began to form outside the classroom. Then a flood of students swept into the room and surrounded Jimmy. Sign my hand, Jimmy, a girl requested. Will you be my friend? Asked a boy. Can I have a piece of your hair? Another girl asked. Being admired by everyone was beginning to make Jimmy a little nervous. You have to think about being cool all the time. Jimmy squeezed out of the overcrowded classroom and into the hall. Calm down, he told everyone. I'm not really that cool. All I did was create an admirator ray. But the kids were chanting Jimmy's name so loudly, Jimmy, Jimmy, that no one heard him. That ray must have been too strong, Jimmy realized as the crowd pushed in on him. I need to get back to my lab and fix this. Jimmy took a deep breath. Then he pushed his way through the throng of people as he ran as fast as he could. Think he'll get it fixed? Chapter 7. Cool no more. The admirating kids chased Jimmy down the hall, out the doors of the school, and down the street. Everyone who saw Jimmy joined the chase. Soon the entire town was running after him in a frenzy of admiration. That'd be a little scary. Finally, Jimmy reached his house. His parents had built a statue of him on the front lawn. Jimmy's home, they cried happily when they spotted him. That statue was built pretty fast. Jimmy ran past them, straight to his lab, locked the doors behind him. I sure hope this works, he murmured as he repositioned himself before the admirator ray and hit the reverse switch. A few moments later, Jimmy went back outside and faced the crowd. At first, no one said anything. Cindy was the first to speak. What are we all doing at the dork's house? Dork is not a nice word either. Jimmy's mom spoke up next. James Isaac Neutron, why aren't you at school? She scolded. And who are all these people? Jimmy tried to explain. Well, you see, they thought I was cool and... Cool? Cindy interrupted. You? I think you're even nerdier than you were yesterday. Everyone turned and walked away, shaking their heads. That's not very nice. Don't worry, Jimmy, Carl said. You may not be cool anymore, but we still like you. And Ultra Lord likes you, added Sheen. Thanks, guys, Jimmy said with a smile as Goddard licked his hand. And we don't have the end of the book. I'm sure it's happily ever after. I'm sorry about that, guys. But, Yes, that's it. Looks like they're taking the statue for scrap metal. Have a good day. Bye-bye.